Good morning. This is new without a podium for me to stand behind here. Welcome. I am Nancy Olson, the newly elected chair of the standing committee, the governing body here at First Church. We're glad you are with us either online or in person here in our magnificent sanctuary. We welcome each of you visiting with us today, whether it's your first time here or you're a returning visitor, and whether that's online or in person. To learn more about First Church Boston or Unitarian Universalism, please visit firstchurchboston.org or contact Reverend Stephanie or me during the barbecue immediately following the service. A few things happening here. Our usual coffee hour is being replaced by our barbecue on the patio. Please join us for some fellowship, hot dogs and hamburgers, and some other dishes that people have brought. This is our final service for the year in our sanctuary. Next week, we'll start the summer services in the Hale Chapel. We'll be saying goodbye to Lindsay Donnelly-Bullington, our intern minister, and wishing her well as her time with us comes to an end. Please see the details in your order of service and the e-news and online regarding the summer schedule. It will be a little bit different this year. Most of the services will be in the Hale Chapel, as that has been in the past, but a couple of them will be gatherings on the porch instead of in the chapel. So thank you for being with us today. Let our service now begin.
Welcome to Flower Sunday. This is a distinct Unitarian Universalist ritual that celebrates the beauty of diversity in community. Our opening words are from Thomas Rhodes, who entitled, "All of Us Are Beautiful." We come in a variety of colors, shapes, and sizes. Some of us grow in bunches, some of us grow alone. Some of us are cupped inward, and some of us spread ourselves out wide. Some of us are old and dried and tougher than we appear. Some of us are still in bud, and some of us grow low to the ground. And some of us stretch towards the sun. Some of us feel like weeds sometimes. Some of us carry seeds sometimes. Some of us are prickly sometimes. Some of us smell. And all of us are beautiful. What a bouquet of people we are. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit as we light our chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalism, and say together our affirmation printed in your order of service of what brings us here together today. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. I invite you to take a moment to greet one another, and if you're still holding a flower or haven't added one yet to the bouquet, please bring one forward. There's some extras in the back to bring forward. I invite you to remain standing as you wish as we sing together our opening hymn, Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee, number 29 in your gray hymnal. And pay attention, the sermon title is one of the lyrics, if you catch it.
children have disappeared. That means I might have to recruit some of you out in the pews. There is a wonderful story that comes from a Catholic Jesuit who had this whole idea about that each of us are connected to God by a string. And that through our lives, we break trust with God, we make mistakes, and then we are forgiven. And when we are forgiven, that string gets tied in a knot, and we draw closer. And I thought, on this Flower Communion Sunday, this Flower Celebration Sunday, which is such a beautiful example of our Unitarian Universalist faith. It is, for those of you who grew up Unitarian Universalist, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't, it's one of these things that it's like the one ritual that every Unitarian Universalist, almost every Unitarian Universalist church does. And so that you would, when you met with other Unitarian Universalist youth, you'd be able to sort of say like, oh yeah, and we did this at Flower Communion. And then you talk to your friends who didn't grow up Unitarian Universalist, and they were like, what are you talking about? You eat the flowers. Like, no. It's a chance for us to draw closer. It's a chance for us to come together. See, one of the things that happens when we are in community, I'm going to use you because you're right there. Sorry. Is that, once again, we are together. And then, because we're adults and we're busy, I'm sorry I wasn't able to get to your party. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get to that meeting or get you that report. And, it breaks apart. And then I come, sorry, really it in? Yeah, no, not yet. And then I come and I go, I'm so sorry. Please accept my apology, and you do accept my apology, and then that connection gets tied together. And I thought, you know what? That probably happens to all of us. It's happened to all of us in this community and all of our other communities. So maybe you and I do something. Oh no, you and I. Now we're connected. Well, yeah, no, all right, but maybe and we do something. Toss it over to the choir, because I'm sure there's always something that goes on in the choir. Like someone borrowed the music. Like where's the altos music? Oh, the tenors moved it someplace. And now you hang on to one and then toss it somewhere else. You toss it to, not at. That was very good, right? And toss it over there. Maybe some other folks over there. Yes, there we go. Go long! Maybe that church softball team could really just toss it behind you. And it keeps going on and on. Oh, thank you, Stephan. Oh, thank you. And it keeps going on and on until we realize that we are connected like a spider web. That's what our covenant, the covenant that we have, right? It's all about repair. I worked at a church, and they had this beautiful first covenant. Yeah, just toss it. See, and we'll see who's paying attention there. Oh, there we go. This is great. And the very first covenant that was written in the 18th century. And the beginning of the 18th century was beautiful, and it had all this lovely language about God and them and what they were going to do together. And then within 10 years, they had to rewrite their covenant, and this new covenant was then rewritten, and it had all these things in there about like backsliding and not talking back to each other and behaving, taking care of it on the Sabbath and not working and all these things. And I remember saying to somebody like, what the heck happened? And they said, well, I guess in those 10 years, there was a lot of disunity. And so they had to write it into their covenant about who they were, how they wanted to be with each other. to be reminded about the things that were important. And then they rewrote it again. And so, seeing the lovely covenant work that you all have been doing, researching, and that's part what this string is. It's all the ways that we are connected and that we get drawn back together. Our connections get broken and then reformed, and every time we tie the knot, we get a little bit closer to each other. And that is part of the beauty of this tradition, the beauty of this church. And I have to admit, Stephanie, that I thought about this. I didn't really think about how to clean this up. So okay, yeah, everyone just pass it on. Everyone be good, and we'll be good, and that'll be great. All right, and yes, be very careful, cats. Right, and with that, I'm going to finish, and we get to hear our lovely choir, and thank you all. Yes, everyone. This is yeah. I will take. I'm just going to take the ball of yarn over here. Yeah, we'll just do this. We'll just do this. We'll be good. And if I have to cut it again, no, we can retie it.
Nature together. It sort of ties us together with nature. And you can hear the little bird that sings, and we're having a conversation. So you can consider the choir humanity and the flute nature and the little bird. It's a lovely piece. I hope you enjoy it. Early this morning, I woke to a glorious orange sun. Standing outside on my porch, I mindlessly plucked some faded flowers from a pot, creating space for new growth. My bare feet were wet and cold against the rain-soaked planks of the porch. Birds, awake even sooner than my own early hour, swooped and sang like the flute around me. Returning inside, I picked up my mug of freshly brewed coffee and headed for my laptop to write. To give praise is just this: paying attention with gratitude. Simple, but perhaps not always easy to do. Psychology tells us that the human mind is wired to first scan for trouble. Undoubtedly, looking for threats that surround us has helped humanity to survive for millennia. And there are many, way too many threats to notice, from the most recent headlines of President Trump sending the National Guard to Los Angeles, to the stories that have fallen out of the headlines but remain dire, such as the Israeli hostages taken 610 days ago. So also there are more personal struggles, perhaps our own health issues or those of one we love, financial worries, or a persistent sense of loneliness. In our time and place, core values we hold as religious liberals are under threat. And more importantly than threats to principles is the fact that people are being harmed, including some here today. From job losses to fear of deportation, to erosion of health care and other public goods here and around the world, the lives of congregants, friends, neighbors, and strangers have been thrown into upheaval. I know we want to do something, and sometimes it may feel as if all we do is watch and read the news to wait for someone to point us to a path of action. I don't believe there will be one path or one person or one moment that fixes things and restores systems that prioritize democratic values of equity, inclusion, and empathy. Rather, I imagine there will be, and already are, a multitude of people and paths that hold fast to these values in their daily living, in their activism, in tens of thousands of places and situations. Resisting the onslaught, the political onslaught against liberal values is a spiritual practice. The deluge of dangers risks overloading our predilection to pay attention first to threats. And yes, the threats are real. And so are the sunrises, the bird song, the flowers, and the friends and the threads that connect us to each other. So are the presence of communities like this one, where we recommit ourselves each week to a covenant that centers the value of love and an ethic of service and helping others. Today, here and now, we are living out a particular vision of the world. By participating in a ritual of gratitude in a moment, we are naming the gifts that enrich our lives. In this one way, we remind ourselves of some of what matters to us and is worth fighting to protect. And for example, when we engage in our flower communion, We are recommitting to values of interdependence with the web of life, both people and nature, as well as acknowledging the beauty that is created by diversity and difference in community. These actions, these simple ritual actions, feed our spiritual strength to remain clear-sighted not only of the dangers that face us, but also on the gifts that sustain us and make life glorious. The title of this reflection, Unfold Like Flowers, is a lyric in the hymn Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee that we sang a moment ago. This call to open ourselves to life, to the joy of life, may not seem like an anthem of resistance to injustice, but I think we can hear it as such. Indeed, the sun to which the flowers open promises to melt the clouds of sin and sadness. The sins of injustice and hatred, bigotry and cruel indifference melt before the power of a generous, life-giving love, a love some call God. Opening ourselves to be nurtured by this love can transform us and sustain us, even amidst times of strife. Indeed, I do not know anything else that will. As we move into summer and into the unknown months of turmoil, may we rise above the pull to only scan for threats. And remember to also pay attention with gratitude for the gifts of love, beauty, truth, and connection that sustain us all, and for which we are fighting to expand and retain in our shared world. In short, may we remember to give praise. So may it be. Blessed be.
Today, we gather in joy and in celebration, not to sidestep or ignore the pain of a hurting world, but to find moments of liberation on our path towards collective transformation. I invite you in this spirit into a ritual of gratitude. Those of you gathered here in person today should have received a paper flower in your order of service. If you didn't, we'll have some coming around soon. In the music that follows during the offertory, I invite you to consider things for which you feel gratitude. After a period of reflection, please write these on your flower and then pass them into the center aisle, and our ushers will collect them during the doxology. And we'll shape these gratitude flowers here into this vase, into a collective gratitude bouquet. If you're participating online, I'll be watching in the YouTube chat to write some of those down as well. I'll read these aloud. A team of us will read these aloud once they're collected. So please only write what you wish to have shared. At this time, for the care and sustenance of this congregation, the morning's offering will be shared. Through the past plates, online in the directions in your order of service, or on our website. In this weekly ritual of generosity, I invite your reflections too on gratitude. So again, how this will work is that the ushers will first go through and collect the offering, and then in the time of the offertory, you'll have a moment to write down these pieces of gratitude. And at the end of the music during the doxology, once you pass them into the center aisle, the ushers will collect those on their way back up. Thank you for your generosity and for your gratitude. And as we move into a time of sharing and naming and blessing this gratitude, we want to start. Reverend May has a special note of gratitude to extend.
And I'm going to invite Barbara up here to help me.
So in the last 2 years of being at First Church, I've learned a number of things about the culture and community. And something I learned was about a history of giving the Reese Williams Award. Reese Williams was the minister here at First Church for 40 years, ending his tenure in the year 2000, if I'm remembering correctly. Thank you, Bob. And my understanding of the Reese Williams Award is that this award is given to a congregant who demonstrates significant service and contribution to the community. And I was new last year, and there's a lot going on, and we didn't do it. And in fact, I think it hasn't been done for a few years. But we thought it was an important thing to bring back this year. And I researched some of it, talked to Stephen Kendrick, Minister Emeritus, and learned that part of the process is that the standing committee weighs in and makes a decision. So at the time, Barbara Martin was still chair of the standing committee, so she's here to share with us who they chose to receive this award this year.
In a short, sort of hackneyed phrase, you might say that the Reese Williams Award goes to a pillar of the church. One of the wonderful things about our church is that it does not have pillars, literally. I think that this extraordinary space is held up in other ways. And the person to whom we want to present this award, Margaret Shepard, is someone who has supported the church in many ways over its history, or in bringing us its history to us, in her commitment to the memorials that we see around us. But particularly, I wanted to mention her contribution to the fabric of this church, because I think probably every one of you has had someone, when you were showing them the church or they wanted to step into the sanctuary, say, what about the copper strips? What's going on with the copper strips? And if you're like me, you're like, oh, I'm so glad you asked. Because when I first came to the church and was experiencing its spaces, I thought, this is a wonderful, tough, concrete building, and the copper strips represent some human coming together of the congregation with the architect's vision. And as most of you know, Margaret was the one who, in thinking about the memorials that were lost, also thought about, what about the whole congregation? There are all these, famous figures from the past, but what about everyone who comes and is here every Sunday and is part of the church, and shouldn't their names be here somewhere? And that is the magical thing about the copper strips, that each one has the name of a member written by Margaret. So it was her idea. She had the skills to bring it into being, and she has had the commitment and devotion to continue through the years, so that those of you who joined just a few weeks ago, she wrote your name on that strip for you to put into the groove. So that was a very popular and immediate response of the standing committee, and I will pass the mic back to Stephanie to explain the next step.
So I remembered when I started being shown this locked closet, and I remembered there was a silver bowl. The Reese Williams Award is traditionally given in a silver Paul Revere bowl. And I'm like, I swear there's one in the closet. We can go get that one. So after maybe 3 weeks of figuring out, looking for the key, and finally finding it, we opened the closet, and indeed we found a bowl, which has Margaret Shepard's name on it. So apparently, predating me and us, the intention was to give you the Anne Bradstreet Award at, I think it's 2018 on the bowl, it's on the bowl. The Anne Bradstreet Award is an award given to people who have contributed to the remembering of the history of the congregation, which of course Margaret has done with all of the gorgeous calligraphy of the memorials. So we are going to add the Reese Williams Award engraving to the same bowl to reflect all that you have given, Margaret. Thank you. Thank you. And that is one big gratitude, but I know you shared all of yours. And so now Hank and Lynn and Lindsay and I will share the gratitude and create this bouquet of gratitude.
We've received so many notices of gratitude. We're going to combine some of these as appropriate to make this a little smoother. So I'll start with some gratitudes that were online for jobs such as being on the tech crew, and also gratitude for the tech crew. Also gratitude for Hale House, and for slow mornings full of reading, coffee, fresh baked biscuits, and eggs.
For still being alive, awake, and learning and growing after nearly 3/4 of a century. And then gratitude for children and my garden. Grateful for local farmers markets. Grateful for freedom and family and natural beauty and quiet in the noise and the arts. Grateful for the support of friends. For the many I meet who share a smile, kind words, or helping hand. For the gift of this day. Family, partner, friends, and health. I love this. Somebody put it in the petals. The connecting of human beings, love, power of all, the arts, the beauty of the earth. Children, grandchildren, family, summer days, flowers, early morning sunrise. I should have worn my glasses. Grateful for bifocals. Friendship and community.
I'm grateful for my family, for the fresh air, friendship, water, turn this over, peace, love, kindness. For Stephanie, who continues to support and inspire us. To the glorious music.
I am so grateful for Lindsay's time with us, for the long survival of First Church and its belief in a better America, the courage I find in community, a new generation, my daughter graduating from high school, peace, beauty, and love, fair weather, Sudoku. Friends.
There are more gratitudes for writers, authors, musicians, for baby Tess, for my son, my wife, and America. And then there are so many that I won't list them individually, but so many for family and friends, for individuals, for parents, for siblings, and for specific friends and community members. We build these gratitudes into a bouquet, intermingling of all those joys and celebrations together. And this will move to the back of the sanctuary after the receiving line if you'd like to look through the individual notes that folks have left. In this spirit of gratitude, please join me in a centering moment. And as you center, I invite you to ground yourself through the deepest breath you've had a chance to take so far today. Please pray with me. Spirit of life, divine mystery, loving God. Through train closures, through distractions and errands, through the many movements of our days, thank you for the chance to join in contemplation, in hope, and in gratitude. May we not miss the reminders of beauty and goodness amid great pain. We pray in thanks for color and fragrance, for comradeship and connection, for the enriching and nourishing quality of diversity of experience and identity in building the bouquet of our community of communities. May each wildflower be a reminder of love's abundance, and each pollinator a symbol of our continuing work to nourish and live into that love. Amid heartbreak, sorrow, and loneliness, may we find enduring connection and witness in each bloom, and may we honor our perpetual transitions like the unfolding of each flower. As we move into a time of shared stillness and a musical meditation, I invite you to join your prayers to mine.
The Flower Communion began in 1923, just after post-World War I, the Great War. Against this backdrop of so much loss and destruction, the Reverend Norbert Capek of the Unitarian Church in Prague created this flower ceremony. He invited everyone to bring a flower to create a shared bouquet, and then asked each person to come forward to take a different flower home with them. Exchanging flowers testifies to this capacity of all of us to bring beauty and to receive beauty, to give gifts and to receive gifts. In a world bearing wounds of violence and injustice, such reciprocity of beauty and care heals and strengthens. So I invite you now to line up, in a moment now, to line up on either side, to come forward and take a flower, and then return to your seat down the center aisle. And we are going to end choir. I'm going to invite you to come forward first, because we need you to help us sing. And the song we're going to sing it's in your teal hymnal, the paperback, 1030, Siahamba, but it's super 3 words. So you really don't need it after a verse or two, and it's just a call out. So we're just going to keep calling out a different word for each verse, and you can see the first few there, and we'll see how many rounds we need to go. If you have an idea for a verse, shout it out. So I invite you to rise in body or in spirit as we sing Siahamba and come forward for your flowers. People on, no, okay. Hold your flower up high and look around. Look at the beauty we create together. When the clouds that threaten injustice and harm darken the world around us, may we remember this beauty. May this vision of a glorious multitude of diversity in community melt away all efforts to erase difference. May we open ourselves to the gifts of life as we remain committed to loving the beauty within and all around us. May it be so. Blessed be. And our closing hymn is one many of you may know. It's just This Little Light of Mine. And I love it. William Ellery Channing, remember this is the 200th anniversary year of the Unitarian Association. And William Ellery Channing, who is often credited as one of the founders, said that there is a little divine in each of us. And so Joyful speaks about the Son of the big Son, S-U-N, that is God. And I like to imagine we each have our little son of divine gift and life and love in us. So let us spread that light to the world. This little light of mine. It's a lot of fun to sing standing right in front of them. We're going to extinguish the chalice. Will someone, Teddy, would you do the honors? There's a little metal cap, Teddy, if you can extinguish the chalice for me. And join me in saying our words together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of our community, the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Sustained by our connections to each other and to all that is holy, let us go and be beyond these walls, engaging across difference, loving with abundance, and working together to sustain a just and loving and empathic and equitable and inclusive and diverse world. Amen.
Amen. Here is a message we sing to